Here we are on the WordPress dashboard of the website, logged in. I imagine you know how to do that since you've been working with the gallery and things. So the biggest thing for going forward, what we mentioned would be posts, and this is where you're going to be able to post. Let me get rid of some of these nags. Um, Posts. So first thing, just a heads up while you're on your dashboard, if you don't like the way this looks, you can drag these things around and put them in different places. You can also turn some of them off, like WordPress News. I never care about that anyway, so maybe I don't want that and get rid of it and have my dashboard look like this. But anyway, posts. So posts is where you're going to be able to write articles. So when I click on posts, I get a list of all the posts. Another nag screen we can get rid of. So anyway, I get a list of posts. There are none. So the first one is going to be add new. And let's say you did a job where you sandblasted a concrete truck. So you got concrete truck and it's in Lodi. So you did a concrete truck in Lodi, and here I'm just going to get some copy here. Generate. So I'm going to grab some dummy text here, but let's say you're the concrete truck, and let's say you're going to put all your stuff in there. This is just filler text, and you're going to talk all about it. And then what you're going to do is you're going to have an image of a truck. So featured image, it's not in your gallery. This is the gallery on the website, images that have already been uploaded, if you will. Upload files, because it's on my computer. So I'm going to upload this picture of this concrete truck that I did before and after. So let's just pretend that this is it. It's not a picture of a concrete truck. It's a picture of some barn wood. But I'm going to say set featured image, and there it is. Now I could be done. I could also decide that I wanted to categorize this. So maybe I'm going to put add new category, mobile work. And there it is, mobile works. It's categorized now. Now the other thing is, what if I wanted to have another category, vehicles? That's fine. We can have as many categories as you want. So initially, when you have a few posts, you're going to have a few jobs you're going to post on here. It's not going to really much matter what categories are, because there's only going to be, let's say, 3, 4, 5, 10 posts or whatever it is. That's going to fill up a page by itself. But down the road, when you start to get a whole bunch of posts in here, maybe you want to make categories. So don't worry about the categories too much right now. It's not a big deal. Just showing you can add categories, and those categories will be there. So the next post you make, let's just say that this is going to be what this is, and we do that. Okay, so now if I look at all my posts, there it is, the concrete truck. It tells me what category it's in. When I add another one, and let's say here I do concrete in cow, right? A whole bunch of text again I put in, so you're going to write, I did a great job, all this stuff was wonderful. Now what I want you to notice here, two things. One is the categories we made before are available for us to check, so we don't need to add them again, they're there. This is mobile work, but it's not a vehicle, so I'm going to use that. The featured image, I can upload yet another featured image. It's from so this again, just a dummy image, has nothing to do with anything other than I'm showing you what adding an image is again. But here's the one thing that's really interesting, is the fact that I have all this here, and I have this tab text shown, and this tab text means that it is basically raw. It's not the final product. So if I click on visual, I actually get to see what it really looks like with its styles applied. The other thing visual lets me do is, if I wanted to add an image, maybe I didn't want to have just the featured image, but I wanted to talk about something and then show a picture of it, and talk about something and show a picture of it. So let's say that this first paragraph describes the project, and maybe I want to make that bold. And the next paragraph describes an image. I can put my cursor here where I want the image to be. Add media. I'm going to use an image that's already there, just keep uploading stuff. I select the image. Now I'm going to select, I don't know, medium. Sounds good. Important here. I'm going to select alignment. So regardless of where I put my cursor, if I put center, it's going to be in the middle. If I put left, it's going to be on the left. And if I put right, it's going to be on the right. So I'm going to put it on the left. Link to, I don't care about that. Insert into post. What that just did is it put this sized image from where my cursor is, it put it on the left, wrapped the words around it just like a nice magazine article. And I think that's pretty cool. Now, if I don't like it, I can go to the pencil. I can click on the image, go to the pencil, and I can say, you know what, I'd rather have it on the right. And it puts it on the right. The other option I can do is I can click on it and say maybe I'd want it in the center. I don't really want it in the center because that's not cool because the words don't wrap. So while there is a time and a place for centered aligned images, a lot of times if we're just looking at a small image and we want it to look like a magazine, we might go left and then update. And then I say, well, you know what, yes, almost, except I want it smaller. So I can select thumbnail. I say yes, but that's too small. So maybe when I was here on medium, I was almost the right size, but a little too big. So what I can do is these handles right here on the corners allow me to mouse over, click on that, hold down the cursor, and I can dial that in to where I want it. And I want it just like that. Something like that. I don't know, somewhere in there. Moral of the story is when you're done, let's add another one. Let's say this paragraph, I want this one on the right. So I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to do a thumbnail. I'm going to put it on the right. And there it is. Again, maybe a little too small. Maybe I want it a little bigger. There we go. So I can go ahead and put in images in this post all day long. Let's do a full-size center one just for the heck of it once. Okay, so we can see maybe that's too big. Okay, so now I'll hit publish. So what I've done is I've made up this styled up bit here. This is the, view post. I'm going to right click, open a new tab. I want to see what this looks like on the front end. And there it is. So I've got my pictures, I've got all my stuff, I've got the ones centered, I've got the categories listed here. So if I wanted to go by category through, I can jump around and do that. It says who posted it, it'll be posted by you. The title's here. So pictures are a little small, that's the only downside. So what if, I'm going to go back to the back end again, what if I took this picture, remember before I said link to, we don't care about that. What if I said link to media file? That's the picture itself. I'm going to save that. So now on the front end, I'll refresh the page. Now on the front end, when I see this picture, I can click on it. And what happens when I click on it is I get a bigger picture, which is kind of cool. Because a lot of times people like that. So that's one thing you can do. Not always needed. Again, this is not an always thing. I'm just showing you what some of the options are. But anyway, so you put this in here and you can see again, you know, it's all automatically formatted regardless of. Now again, if I click on text, well, I've got that. And that's probably something that's going to be hard for you to read. I can read this very easily. I know what all this stuff is when I see, you know, strong tags and image class tags and all that. But you're going to want to stick with the visual side. That being said, if you paste in something from a Word document, some of the styles will come with it, which you don't necessarily want. So a lot of times if I'm pasting in text, I'll have it set to text on a new one. So let's update this once and I'll show you what I mean. So if I have a new one here, and I'm just going to put sample on this one, so we don't really care. But if I get a bunch of text from somewheres, let's just take this text and I copy it from somewhere. So I'm going to paste this right in. I go to visual and I paste that in. Okay. Now we can see what happened here is this has taken the styles from this page. There are styles here, right? This has a color, this has links, this has bolds. There's styles actually here. It's not plain text. So when I plop this in, I get this, which can be okay if that's what I want, but if I look at the text, holy cats, I got all kinds of markup here. I've got a UL class, which is an unordered list. I've got LI items, which are list items of the unordered list. I've got H tags. Wait a minute, not what I wanted. So what I may want to do is take copy. So if I'm going to paste something in here, what I'm probably going to do, start over so I got a nice blank area. And if I'm on visual, I'm going to say, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to text. And when I paste in, when it's set to text, I just get plain text. Then when I go to visual, I get the styles that your website has with it. In other words, this font is your website, the font, the color, all that stuff is what it's using for plain text. I don't have any other goofy stuff. So after I put in all my text, then maybe I'll go back and say, you know what, I want this bold. Maybe that's what I want. There, that's, maybe I'll do this. So now, so I got to get the raw text in first, then I'm going to style it up. Then I'm going to do things like add an image to it. Let's take the car. Then I'm going to add an image to it and do all the rest of this monkey business. So text first, usually plain if you're pasting it in. Then add images and styles afterwards. And then before you're done, obviously, pick a category and hit publish. Now I've got no featured image on this, so I'm going to do that for a reason also. So I've got 3 posts now. I think we went with portfolio. So I'm going to bring up a page that's not visible to anybody else right now, but it's basically what will be visible once you have posts. So this is what your list of posts, now each one of those was an individual post, this is what your list of posts is going to look like. The featured image, the title, the category, the description, the author, and a read more link. Again, same kind of thing. Notice this one didn't have a featured image, sample, but when I open it up, there's the post. Now when I open up this one, or if I click on read more, either way, here's the featured image. Notice it's in this background area. Same thing with this one. This is where that featured, and then the rest of it shows up. I'm not going to get into categories a lot again right now because we really aren't going to be using those, but that's the featured image. Again, the category, the title, the description. This is an excerpt, so they'll pile up on a page. If somebody says, wow, I want to read more about this, they can click on it and go to the full post here. So again, just to keep it simple, your posts have a title, they have a body, they have a featured image, and they can have a category, but they don't need to right now. So that should get you going in your